Hello, everybody. This is Sophia Mona Lisa of the Rose Wheel Mystery School and the Golden Ray Center. And we have a couple of things going on today, which have led me to this theme of Christ within you. Now, what I love is the fact that I'm aware that there may be some people that might bristle at hearing the Christ within you. Um, However, when I landed on this, what I discovered to my amazement, and I've always said I'm not a Bible scholar, I'm not a theologian. There are numerous books in the Bible that talk about this idea of Christ within you. Christ living within you, you being the Christ. And to name a few that I happen to just come across very quickly and very easily that speak to this concept of the Christ being within you is Colossians, Corinthians, Philippians, Ephesians, Matthew, Romans, and Galatians. So that's like 7 books right there that talk about this concept of the Christ being within us, which tells me that for thousands of years, humanity has known that we are a Christ race and that we are ascending back into our Christ self. So let me explain to you how all of this came to be the theme for today. Well, first of all, today is May 1st. So happy May Day. That's what we call it over here in the United States. Of course, May Day comes from the ancient cross-quarter day known as Beltane. And really, there is a spiritual meaning to Beltane, to May Day, particularly before May Day got hijacked over some labor dispute issue. So we're just not going to even think about that. We're going to focus on the spiritual meaning. And so this is a celebration of life and abundance. As a cross-quarter day, it is the halfway point between the spring equinox and the summer solstice. So it really, as a celebration of life and abundance, is really celebrating the return of the summer. It honors the renewal of life. It encourages us to connect with the fertile creative energies of the earth. And it is most importantly a time of spiritual growth, transformation, and awakening to the divine within us. The divine within us, the Christ within you. You're going to see this in terms of what's happening in the sky today. It's going to all come together. What I also love is that Beltane is a time to honor, right? The sacred union. We call that a sacred marriage, Hieros Gamos, between the masculine and the feminine energies. I refer to the sacred feminine principle as Sophia, divine wisdom, and I refer to the masculine principle energies as Christ, divine will. And when Sophia and Christ come into sacred union, the manifestation of their union is the frequency of pure love, divine love. And so this sacred union is symbolized by joining God and Goddess together. And the union between them represents balance and harmony between the complementary forces of the masculine and the feminine. They are not at war with each other as the sinister forces would have us believe. okay? They are and must be in balance and harmony in order for the creation of life and the sustenance of life. And of course, we see that clearly on the current eclipse, in the current eclipse series that we're having on the Aries Libra axis. Aries ruled by Mars, the sacred masculine. Libra ruled by Venus, the sacred feminine. This axis of conscious equal partnership between the masculine and the feminine, bringing them into balance and harmony so that they can create and sustain life. So by embracing the wisdom of Beltane, we can cultivate balance in our own lives, deepen our connection with the natural world and our spiritual selves, that Christ within. And I've talked about, because of the fact that Christ and Sophia are in perpetual sacred union, that when we speak of the Christ, we are also speaking of Sophia. And when we speak of Sophia, we are also speaking of Christ. So I take that a step further and make reference to that divine self, that divine sun, S-U-N, that divine flame within you is your inner Sophia Christ. Now, this is all going to tie into what's happening in the sky today, which means I'm going to bring you back to this slide. This is a slide that I shared in my most recent video journal, which was about Venus descending into the Inanna underworld. And these are all April events. You'll see here 6 very potent April events. I talked in that video about how these 4 events were leading up to and preparing us for the Venus descent into the underworld. And I said that I would come back and do a journal on the Venus square Pluto event, which at the time was indicated as April 30th, because that was the time that I was given. But when I cast the chart today, what do you know? Based on the exact timing of the conjunction, this event for half of the world is exact today, May 1st. I'm in Eastern Standard Time in the United States. It was exact at 12:30 a.m. So if you're in the rest of the United States, Mountain Time, Central Time, Pacific Time, you would have experienced this yesterday. For me, those in Europe, and I'm not going to extend out too far with the time frames, but you know where you are. You either experienced it yesterday or you're experiencing it today. And of course, even though that's a linear timeline, we know that it's happening in the eternal now. If you are on Facebook with me, you will have seen my post yesterday that I was flipping knocked out. I ended up taking a 5-hour nap in the middle of the day yesterday, which is unheard of for me. But then when I saw the chart of everything that was going on in the sky that came together at 12:30 this morning, of course I was knocked out. And if you were knocked out, you'll understand too. So what I'm going to talk about in terms of this Venus square Pluto is how it's taken everything that happened this month to a whole new level. Because remember, now we are 4 days into the Inanna underworld journey. I have been for half of this month, April, inviting you to engage this Inanna underworld journey that will be taking place over 2.5 months, taking us into July. I provided this video journal where I go into an entire spiritual practice and significance around what's happening with this Inanna underworld journey that I recommend that you engage. I will put a link in the description box below regarding this journal, which was my most recent one, the Venus descent into the Inanna underworld. I will put a link at the end of the video journal. Okay, trying to get you up to date with everything so you've got all your resources. Now, you've seen in many of my most recent video journals this mighty I am presence, and I have given you descriptions of each of the 3 parts that are depicted here in the mighty I am presence. I'm going to leave this here for your reference, and I'm going to go look at the chart because I may have to come back to this as I'm doing the chart reading. So let's take a look at this chart so that you'll have some idea of why I was knocked out for 5 hours yesterday, and maybe you were knocked out yesterday too, or even today. I am having a slow day today, I will tell you. All right, here's the chart. I mean, let's just blow your mind, okay? We're looking primarily at the Venus square Pluto event that became exact. And what we see is next to Venus down here is the star that is informing this event, Meroc. Now, I mentioned Meroc in the journal that I did on the Venus descent into Inanna's underworld, but I didn't give you more information that I'm going to share with you today. But we also see that they are squaring. And remember, a square is a 90-degree angle. It's a breakthrough in consciousness. And so look here, Osiris, the cosmic Christ, and Pluto, right, the great transformer, are 1 minute away from an exact conjunction within this exact square. Notice that the cosmic Christ and Pluto, which, by the way, Pluto is also the luminary body that I look to for your soul mission, what you came into this life stream to accomplish while you are here from the soul level, right? The soul level is right up here, that which we call the mighty I am presence, your personal ray emanating from source, or as I also say, the great central sun, which is the heart of Sophia-Christ. Okay, so this soul mission I look to Pluto for. Look at this, 1 minute away from an exact conjunction. The cosmic Christ and your soul mission have become aligned. That's the breakthrough in consciousness, because look at where they are. They're in the 1st house. Who and how, who you know yourself to be, how you know yourself to be. Knowing yourself as the Christ within you, as, in other words, an embodiment of Christ. Meroc and Venus are over here in Taurus, an embodiment of the Christ that is within you. That's who you are, having this phenomenal cosmic breakthrough in consciousness to finally realize. And remember, they're in Aquarius. Those Aquarius frequencies are right here, the ascended master realm, where you access your crystalline body, your higher octave chakras, your Christ heart that we have been working with since last August through the Leo Divine Royalty Goddess journey. And at this level here, we are all one. Here is your Christ self. The ascended masters are Christed beings. And at this level, We are all one. So you can say, I am the presence of Master Yeshua. I am the presence of Violet Tara. I am the presence of Saint Germain. I am the presence of Buddha, right? This also involves your higher mind that is being liberated, being transformed. The Buddhi, Aquarius, is that higher mind that is being transformed here by Pluto, and the frequencies of the sacred feminine and the light code frequencies of Mirach are coming in to support, to facilitate, to birth this new access to your cosmic mind, right? And this new soul mission, this cosmic Christ soul mission now that's coming through in terms of who you are. Why am I saying birthing? Because first of all, everything is birthed from the sacred feminine, but notice that Mirach and Venus are in the 4th house. That is the house where the Divine Mother keeps you safe and protected so that you can then create life. And look who we've got here. Sekhmet making a trine to the moon, right? From the 5th house to the 1st house here. The path of most allowance, the Divine Mother, and Sekhmet, the goddess of compassion and mercy, is birthing this lower mind into the higher Christ mind. Okay? And it's all coming from the sacred feminine. Sekhmet as an embodiment of the sacred feminine, the Divine Mother as an embodiment of the sacred feminine. So this is huge. And then what do we have right here? We've got the sacred masculine. This takes us back to Beltane, that honors the sacred union between the masculine and the feminine. They are working here together. The masculine, I say, is there to serve and support the feminine. They are standing together here at a semi-sextile, 30-degree angle. They are working together as helpmates, sacred helpmates, the hand in the glove. The sacred masculine here is communicating, right, in the 3rd house, communicating through the feminine, through your soul, through the Christ to you, to allow you to know that you are pure love. What is the shamanic medicine of Aries? Love, self-love, the higher self-love. So there is a lot going on right there just with that aspect. And then not only do we have the cosmic Christ involved, we have his beloved Isis, the cosmic Sophia, involved. And look at what she's doing. She's here in Capricorn in the 12th house. What is the 12th house? This realm up here. 12th house, Pisces, at the I am presence. This house is 11th house, Aquarius, right? Your higher mind, your crystalline body, your higher octaves of the ascended master realm. And what do you have here? Your sacred temple, the embodiment, Taurus, 2nd house, ruled by Venus, the sacred masculine, the sacred feminine. So there's so much going back and forth here. You've got Venus here in the sign that she rules to help you embody and know yourself as a Christed being, to know and come to understand your higher mind as the Christ mind, completely transforming your soul mission. You may even be receiving a message from the sacred masculine here about what that new contract, right? That new soul contract, that new soul mission is going to be as a result of this. So let's get back to Isis, the cosmic Sophia, divine wisdom in Capricorn in the 12th house. This is self-mastery. She is facilitating your self-mastery of embodying your Christ consciousness because it's being fueled by the sun. The sun that you are the living sun, the eternal sun of source, of Sophia Christ. And that light is being, what do I want to say? Fueled by Sophia Christ so that you can know yourself in the higher mind as that being that is a Christed being, that is a part of the Christ race, and start working from the level of Christ consciousness. Okay, there is so much embedded in the aspects in the sky. There are 2 squares. Remember, breakthroughs in consciousness. There are 3 trines, 3 paths of most allowance for you to be able to get this knowing, this gnosis from Sophia. And there are 4 semi-sextiles working together as sacred helpmates to facilitate your ability to know yourself as an embodiment of that sun, that inner Sophia Christ that has access now to that Christ consciousness, or what I call Sophia Christ consciousness. Remember what I said, when you speak of Christ, you're also speaking of Sophia, vice versa. So there's a whole lot more here in terms of the intricacies, the depths of the transformation, right? Pluto, transformation, the phoenix rising from the ashes, how your Christ consciousness, your Christed self, your Christed mind is being resurrected through this Venus square to Pluto that includes the frequencies of Mirach, the star informing this event, and the cosmic Christ. So let me just go quickly into what's happening with Mirach and the constellation that it is a part of. Hold on a second. I got to get everything moved around on my screen so that I can see everything properly. Okay, here we go. So this is the big thing to remember about the Andromeda constellation. It contains within it the Andromeda galaxy. That's the next galaxy over from us, right? It's the closest full-fledged galaxy to us, and it's 2.5 million light years away. Now let's look at this star Mirach, which is one of the brightest stars of the Andromeda constellation. It is 1,900 times brighter than our sun. That's like the sun of the I Am presence. Remember what we've been told about that? It's 10,000 times brighter than the sun. So here we're getting this infusion of light from source, coming in from the Andromeda galaxy, coming in from this star that is so spectacularly bright. And then get this, very close to Mirach, what has been discovered are 2 distant dwarf galaxies that are located about 10 million light years away from us, right? That's 4 times as far as this Andromeda galaxy. We have got source cosmic energies pouring into us through Meroc, through the Andromeda constellation, and forming this square between Venus and Pluto. And let me go back and show you to remind you, look at where Meroc's located, okay? It's at 0 degrees of Taurus. Venus is at 2, within 2 degrees of being conjunct. This star is bringing in all of the light codes, not only from your I am self, but coming from the great central sun, which is the heart of source. All of that coming in so that you can know yourself finally, with no doubt, that you are a Christed being, and start working from this level of Christ consciousness. This is a resurrection of the Christ, unlike any we've seen on this planet in over 2,000 years. Because remember, Osiris, the cosmic Christ, and Pluto, the resurrector of life, I am the resurrection and I am the life, are 1 minute away from each other. This is just mind-blowing. So what I was inspired to do for May Day is to create a special offering to all of you. I've got 2 different readings that I am offering to you at a special discounted price. One is a Christ Within You reading, where we will look at your solar return chart, because that's your current ascension pathway, to see what's happening with these activations, right? These other things going on that I don't want to take the time to dive into now. See how you are being activated and evolved with this square for your own personal breakthrough in consciousness around knowing yourself as an embodiment of Christ, as Christ consciousness. The other thing is a soul mission reading. What are you here to do? What did you come in to do? And of course, as I said, that goes back to Pluto, which is right here, conjunct the cosmic Christ within that 1 minute. How is your soul contract, your soul mission being evolved through this Venus square Pluto event? Now, regularly, all my readings, regardless of what kind of readings they are $180, and they last about an hour. Sometimes, depending on how much is there that needs to come through, can last up to an hour and a half. Of course, we do it on Zoom. You get a recording. I create slides, so, similar to these, so that you can follow along and you know what's going on. So you get the chart, you get the recording, you get the slides, okay? For this May Day special, this Beltane special, for the month of May only, again, a 50% discount. So you can get one or both of these readings for $90 each. You have to book them by May 31st. You don't have to do them by May 31st, but you have to book them by May 31st in order to get this special. So like if you wanted to do one this month and one next month, June, whatever works for your budget is fine. And to book them, all you have to do is email me here at my email address, SophiaMonalisa79@gmail.com. And remember, Sophia is spelled with an F. And so I'm super excited about what's happening today, particularly with the spiritual significance of Beltane, of May Day, traditionally coinciding perfectly with this Venus square Pluto event that is really like the fireworks show of everything in April that came up, you know, the other, what was it, 5 or 6 events that happened leading up to this. So I'm going to leave you with that. I look forward to hearing from you to book your sessions. And this is a little excerpt from Peter Mount Shasta's first volume of the Violet Tara volumes, and it's from the Dedication of Merit. And so may you quickly attain enlightenment in order to work ceaselessly for the liberation of all sentient beings. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you sticking with me. I hope you have a very, very happy May Day / Beltane. It's just thrilling to be able to share this with you today. If you would take a few seconds of your time to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, ring the bell. Very simple, very quick efforts in which you can help serve humanity by getting this divine wisdom out to them. The more thumbs up, the more subscribers, the more YouTube will get this information out to humanity. So that's a simple way for you to be of service to the liberation, the enlightenment of humanity. So thank you very much. Until the next time. Have a great day. Bye-bye.